Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Los Angeles, Columbus, Ohio, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Woke ideology is condemned by the right and supported or tolerated by most of the left. Adherents of wokeness parry criticism of, for example, cancel culture with assertions that there is only accountability culture. So that is bullshit, and we've lived through hashtag Me Too, and the woman who founded the hashtag Me Too, Rose McGowan's on this show, she was disavowing it about the way it's being implemented and used. Others on the left privately bemoan wokeness and its safety obsession, but in public remain quiet for fear of attack from woke online mobs. Yes. Alas, wokeness is real. In many quarters, it is hegemonic, it is authoritarian, and profoundly anti-intellectual. Well, can we just talk about this? What do you mean by its safety obsession? Let's start there.
Well, that's part of what the political etiquette turns on, that it's like the safety of people, which, one level safety is a physical thing, but it's this endlessly receding horizon which lapses into the psychological. Like, you might harm people, you might make them feel bad if you don't genuflect at the pronouns or the land acknowledgments, this kind of stuff, right? So the concern with safety is paramount, as opposed to, say, the concern with getting results, the concern with kind of broader economic fairness, right? So safety very much comes out of the psychological, psychiatric subculture, and it's part of what motivates the development of etiquette, right? And by the rules about how you do things, what fork you use politically, and so that's
I've been turned down. I've been canceled at venues, and
because you made people feel unsafe.
Yes.
Yeah,
because they say we are. If you look at our mission statement, it says we are committed to creating an inclusive environment for art that is safe for everyone. Safe for everyone. What does that mean? You mean I'm going to get rid of the fire code? No. Well, what they mean is I might say something.
Horizon.
Say it again.
At one level, you say safe. Okay, all right, yeah, it's like physical study. We get you, but then it's like, where does safety stop? We really don't know, because it becomes very subjective, right? And if we're going to honor everyone's subjectivity, then basically dishonest, wrecking, and mentally ill people can hijack whole organizations and whole meetings, and that happens constantly on the left. Sorry if that sounds.
Yes, no, that does.
That happens all the time.
That's it. It's that the safety means I should be safe from having a thought that makes me feel uncomfortable. That's what they mean by safety. That's literally it. We can't have thought. And if what you say makes a straight white male feel uncomfortable, no problem. It's only the thoughts that make people of color or of LGBTQ. If you make them feel uncomfortable, then they don't feel safe, and then we need to censor you, and we need to cancel you. And that's why people have such a
the logic of political division and wrecking could also turn on, it would be great if what you want to do is destroy social movements. Then it'd be like, great, yes, have the straight white men also disrupt the meeting with their concerns about safety. We just want people not to talk about the issue and fight each other over safety, and then break up and go away and go back to their private lives. And this has happened. I remember I have a friend who was president of the Iraq and Afghanistan Vets Against the War, and these non-veteran activists came in to help them and basically destroyed the organization with exactly this kind of stuff. It was early in the pronoun game, and this was the thing. And as he described it, Vince Emanuele is his name. He's now a tattoo artist in LA, and he, genuinely, solidly left guy, has committed, working class guy, committed himself to left politics, and basically was just driven out of it by the insanity of the whole thing. As he put it, here's a group of, people, veterans, many of them combat vets from these theaters, who have problems with authority, right? Because authority was like, you're going to go do this thing. And they're like, wait a minute, this is completely screwed up. I don't want to do this. I don't agree with this. This is wrong, right? And it's like now bubbling up from below come these well-meaning, sanctimonious, moralizing, show-off activists demanding that everyone use pronouns, and it just absolutely, I mean, sorry to use the woke language, I mean, it triggered, as was intended to, trigger these left vet activists who are just like, forget it, man. This is like, I'm done with this, I'm not going to follow these rules. We're getting onto this bullshit.
And that's a blueprint for how to break up organizations that are coalescing around class, around economics, around a single idea that they all have in common. That's a great way for the establishment to infiltrate that woke ideology, which is there now almost solely now to split up any kind of organization against the oligarchy. That's my opinion. And let me just ask you this. So when you say that it is now hegemonic, now what do you mean by that?
I mean, it has like pervasive, widespread, and almost total authority in a lot of institutions. Within academia, for example, within the nonprofit sector, certainly, within the staff cultures of many unions, within certain like large sectors of corporate America, there are versions of this that hold sway. But I mean, particularly in academia, in the social sciences, this is all important, and it's really kind of deranged. Hiring committees are, even the New York Times actually finally acknowledged this recently with their big article on the University of Michigan. But
we're going to talk about that in a minute. Go ahead.
It's illegal to hire people based on their identities, right? But I mean, that happens all the time within academia, to the point where I've been privy to events where it's clear that academics don't know that that's illegal. They don't know what federal law is, because the discourse becomes so open where it's like, hey, this hire is gonna be a woman, or is going to be a
Joe Biden said his Supreme Court pick was going to be a black woman, right? It's that now that would be illegal if you were trying to do hiring at a college or a corporation, correct?
Yeah, except it happens all the time, and it's of course, maybe it should be legal. Maybe there should be quotas, actually. And I mean, at the end of the article, I get into that. It's like, but then we have to have a conversation about that. So what we have instead is de facto quotas in some places, and this culture, this kind of like schizophrenic culture where the law says we don't do this, but in reality, this is what we do. And you're never supposed to acknowledge this. And you're supposed to pretend this is normal and reasonable, right? And that in and of itself is totally anti-intellectual, and anti-intellectualism lends itself to authoritarianism. We saw that in COVID, right?
Yes. Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Los Angeles, Columbus, Ohio, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.